We're going to make some Yorkshire pudding. I don't know if you've ever had this before, but it's definitely not pudding as we would think about it. It's not like a custard. It's more like a pastry that you typically have with roast beef, or as tonight I'm making another pot roast with potatoes and carrots and onions and gravy. And this is going to be some Yorkshire pudding that we can just tear apart and dip it in the gravy. It's going to be delicious. So here's how to make it. So first off, you need 4 large eggs. I'll go ahead and break those into this measuring cup. 4 large eggs. And then I need to put in 1 cup plus 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour. So I've got that pre-measured here. And it's also going to need 3/4 of a cup of whole milk. So 3/4 cup whole milk. I'll put the recipe in the link, or not a link, but in the description. We also want to put in 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. So it's just a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then 2 tablespoons of water. So no, I take that. It's 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons of water. Now I want to make this ahead of time before I cook it. And you just stir that up. Because what we want is to have this come to room temperature. Now you can make it the day before, put it in the refrigerator, but before you cook it, you want to have it at room temperature so that you get a better rise out of the Yorkshire puddings. So this is just our batter, and I'm making this several hours before I need it, and I'm just going to leave it sit here on the counter. I'll probably cover it up, but so I don't want any evaporation. I just want to whip the lumps out of it. And then right before I use it again, to put into the muffin pan, I'll whip it up again. So that's good. So now I'm just going to cover that up, and I'm going to put it here on the counter. I want it to come to room temperature before we cook it. So we'll be back in a few hours. Okay, the next step for Yorkshire pudding is that I've used a fat separator, and you can look at another video we have on our channel on how to make beef pot roast with carrots and onions and potatoes. But that's what I've done today, but you can watch that on another video. But what we want to do is, if you can see, the fat separator has taken and separated the fat at the top from the juices, but I want that fat right off the top. So I'm going to put that in another dish. So we're going to use that to make the Yorkshire pudding. So I'm going to dip it just off the top, very carefully. Now I'm going to pour those fat drippings into a muffin tin. I'm putting about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom of each of these muffin tins. I don't quite have enough, so maybe I can get some more out of there. Trying to just keep the fat in there. Now that's going to go in the oven at 450 degrees in order to get hot. So the first thing I want to do is take that muffin tin with the fat and put it inside the oven at 450 degrees. Okay, now that that is really hot, we got to do this pretty quickly. I got the batter that we put in the not in the refrigerator. We set it aside to get it to room temperature. Really hot. You don't want to go too far away. We're going to now add the batter to the muffin tin. Okay, let's take a look at how they're doing. So what I did, as you can see, is I pulled them out of their tray and set them on their sides in order to get more crispy, or I can't say crispy, but more done and brown around the edges. Those are done. They're ready to eat. So let's go ahead and plate those. Okay, so now we have some pot roast, carrots and potatoes, and some Yorkshire pudding and gravy. I'm going to pour some gravy over the meat and the vegetables. And I'm going to just use my hands to get the gravy from the Yorkshire pudding. Just kind of tear off a piece, put it in the gravy, and eat it. It's delicious. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a try. Like I said, check out our video on how to make pot roast in a separate video. Have a great night. Bye.